Mark Rogers TV with you once again. It's time to look forward to Saturday's big college matchups with Michigan State taking on Notre Dame and East Lansing. The Spartans have emerged as the best team in the Big Ten, 2-0, and have given up no touchdowns defensively in 2 games against Boise State and Central Michigan. Notre Dame, the Irish, cleared its first big obstacle last week in defeating Purdue on the last play of the game, 20-17. We look at these two squads and we see a lot of similarities. Inexperienced quarterbacks, dynamic running backs, and great front sevens. So the big key in this game, the first one, would certainly be in the running game and who wins the battle up front. When Michigan State has the ball, it likes to give it to Le'Veon Bell a lot. 44 carries, 210 yards against Boise State. Last week, 70 rushing against Central Michigan. And Michigan State will have to move out the superstar Manti. He leads the front 7 at linebacker, along with the emerging superstar Stephon Tuitt, who was all over the field against Purdue with 2 sacks against the Boilers. When Notre Dame's got the ball, George Atkinson is the burner, and then you've also got Theo Riddick, but they could do little against Purdue. 36 carries, 52 yards for the Notre Dame ground game, and that was without accounting sacks. Purdue's front 7 is good. Michigan State's is better. Now we move on to the quarterbacks, where we've got 2 very green players. And Everett Golson, who had a nice game against Purdue, 21 of 28, 289, 1 touchdown, no picks. And for Michigan State, Andrew Maxwell threw 3 picks in the opener against Boise, came back with no interceptions last week and 275 against Central Michigan. 2 inexperienced quarterbacks who seem to be getting the feel for the offense and doing much better last week than in the opener. Certainly, Golson's got the advantage in terms of what Notre Dame can bring to the table if they get in trouble, as they did against Purdue last week. And when Notre Dame went to the backup, Tommy Rees, who's been there many times before as the starter last year, and Rees led the Irish on the game-winning field goal drive. So Notre Dame's got the advantage at quarterback, because they've got depth and experience at quarterback past the starter Golson. Defensively, both these teams are stacked, but Notre Dame is thin in the secondary and inexperienced, and Michigan State is stout, led by cornerback Johnny Adams and Isaiah Lewis at safety. Michigan State with one of the best defenses in the country, one of the great secondaries in the country. They've got a huge advantage there. What we see here is the Spartans continuing to work on the passing game, win this game at home over Notre Dame in a very good competitive football game. By how much does Michigan State win? Well, we, of course, later in the week will run down our top 25 picks straight and against the spread. Meanwhile, we would love to hear what you have to say about Michigan State and Notre Dame on Mark Rogers TV.